Joe, how do you keep yourself going? How do you keep yourself fresh and just keep getting a spot after spot after spot?
I think a lot of it just it's a mental game. Obviously, physical injuries and pain are going to be a non-stop presence in your life if you choose to do this. You just got to give yourself time to heal. You gotta, and not just physically. I mean, mentally, man. I mean, sometimes you're just beat up. Your joints, your limbs, your arms, your muscles. You got tears, you got bulging discs, but the most important thing is you just got to take care of your mind, man. You just got to make sure that your head's on straight and that you're giving yourself the proper time to rest, and that you're planning effectively. You're being proactive in your treatment and proactive in trying to keep yourself healthy, not just sitting back waiting for everything to fall apart and then going on a break and then hopefully recovering. I mean, you got to be very, very proactive in trying to keeping your body together.
You say that physically, and then you mentioned mentally. Mm-hmm. It's just a mental grind as far as just doing it night after night, or even a few nights, take a little break and all like that. Is that the grind of it, or it's just everything involved with it is a grind?
I definitely say it's everything, but I mean it's also that you're on the road. You're not getting much rest because obviously we're doing late shows in the evening. Afterwards, you're driving for hours back to the next hotel or even the next town. You're catching early flights in the morning to make sure you make it to the next city or the next TV taping. So I mean, it takes some planning. I mean, you can't just kind of run through it, and I mean you can, but you're going to find yourself quickly kind of degrading physically and mentally. So I mean, it's just a matter of kind of being on top of yourself and being on top of things.
How strong, how important is it for your heritage as one of the Samoans, one of the top Samoan wrestlers?
It means a tremendous amount to me to be able to go out there and represent myself as a Polynesian athlete, as a Samoan athlete in the world. And, I've been very, very involved in my culture, like I said, ever since I was 5. It is what defines me, but also, I mean, it's never been something that I've used to kind of shut me off from the rest of the world or to alienate me from the rest of the world. I mean, we've brought our culture, especially Samoans, like we try to bring our culture to the masses. I mean, if you talk to Samoans in general, if any of you have Samoan friends and stuff, you'll know. I mean, we're about family, we're about respect and hard work, and I'm sure you can call them generalizations, but I mean, I know my family and I know every Samoan I know. I mean, that's what we're about. And we're also about going out there and sharing with the world, sharing that respect, that love, that work ethic, and how we feel about life with the world. And I mean, have the opportunity to be kind of an ambassador in that light, it means a lot to me.
What do you think of TNA and what they're doing now, going a little more behind the scenes, showing you a little more of things, how they go on, gut check, and other things that they're doing backstage, and trying to, well, I'll ask you just that.
I think
it's different.
It is, and you know what? I think it's almost a necessity. I think every art form needs to evolve. I mean, obviously, when you look at martial arts, I remember not 15 years ago, kung fu guys walking around saying that they're toughest men in the world, and me laughing because knowing judo and jiu-jitsu guys at the time going, oh great, and it's just, but then you had the jiu-jitsu guys who were dominating for a while, and then wrestlers came in, and then wrestlers were dominating for a while, and all of a sudden strikers got their game together and learned to sprawl, and I mean, it's the same thing in wrestling. I mean, wrestling's evolved so much since that time too, and along with wrestling's evolution, along with anything's evolution, the television, the way that it's filmed needs to evolve, and I think we're doing some experimental things. I think we're doing some new things, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they pan out and how the audience reacts to them.
Mentioned about martial arts, karate, and then jiu-jitsu and judo, mm-hmm. and MMA. There's a lot of judo
Tons.
In MMA, and you see how those guys are perceived very tough. I mean, some of the toughest in the world and all. Just what are your thoughts of the MMA aspect of today? And did you ever have any thoughts of trying MMA?
I've had the good fortune to be really close friends my entire life with a lot of fighters currently active in and out of the UFC, several organizations. And it's been, like I said, it's been something that's kind of been around, martial arts in general, that's just been around me growing up. So did I have any aspirations towards MMA? Not really. I mean, I enjoyed judo. I enjoyed sport judo. But I never really had a yearning or an inkling to go out there and make a career as a fighter. Also, though, it was a lot because when I was coming up, UFC and MMA really wasn't that big of a moneymaker unless you were a Mark Coleman, a Mark Kerr, somebody making a lot of money in Pride or something like that. And I mean, these guys are high level, NCAA wrestlers, and
would that have been the Shamrocks too,
Shamrocks,
or Dan the Beast Severance, some people like that?
And I mean,
back then.
To me, and like I said, this goes back to the only rule my parents had: you can do whatever you want. That's my parents were. I mean, very, very supportive in that aspect. Well, not almost anything, but just as long as you make money and you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your bills. That was kind of the rule, because I mean, my father left Samoa on a whim and went to school and worked his way across the ocean to live in California and start a Polynesian dance troupe. And I mean, he understood how much tradition and how much he broke to kind of create his life, and he understands that the heart wants what the heart wants, and it's better to support the kid, hell or high water, whether you fail or not, than to kind of shun him and make it, because just he's going to go after it. I'm going to do what I want to do no matter what, so I might as well help him along rather than try to hinder him.
TNA Impact has got involved with, going back to the MMA, got involved with MMA, and King Mo is going to do some things with pro wrestling and with MMA. What are your thoughts there of that sort of like bond or combination of sort of, it's not the first time, but at this level it is the first time that you see some MMA and pro wrestling?
Absolutely, and I think that you're going to continue to see that. I think once again, as the general public becomes more versed and more educated in fighting arts, especially in submissions, which is, the world's getting a grand education in it now when it comes to combat sports, that evolution has to carry over into pro wrestling. It is a niche market, and it does have its appeal, and it does have its fans, and fans like its style, but there's going to need to be more integration between the two. And, I think you're going to see a lot more of that coming up with guys that are younger than me, the generation coming up, because they're starting to realize that they're going to need that all-encompassing type of game to really make them stand out and really make their style stand out. And, I look forward to it.
What would happen, Samoa Joe versus King Mo?
I'd beat him.
That's all it is. That's all we need to know right there. Doesn't need no more. I'll beat him.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, so you have Twitter, Facebook?
At Samoa Joe, Twitter, and that's about it. I keep it real simple.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Appreciate it.